Hello. Hi. Hello. Good afternoon. My name is Gold Vision. Today is a beautiful day. And a beautiful day to come visit the world of Walkabout MiniGolf. I've been stuck in here. I've just been, I can't stop. Can't stop going at it. Can't stop trying to make things happen. Exploring the new, the old. Seeing what I can achieve. Seeing who I get to be. I'm just gonna do a default quick run. One of my favorite courses. It's called Tourist Trap. It's the default beginning, the original, the starting zone. But I also wanted to reflect and thank you for all the kind input you gave me on my last video. It really actually meant a lot more than some of the more recent projects that I've been working on, just because it's been the opportunity to put a lot of combined thoughts in my head out into one cohesive document. And I think that people started to understand and appreciate what I've been struggling with in my mind. And I'm really happy that I got to share some of those thoughts that have just been like floating around. And we're getting closer to being able to make exactly what I want to with my time and energy. And I guess I did just want to read some of them, if that's okay. Starting with strange, but where'd she go? This was a comment from Marxism, and I will guarantee I will get everyone's name wrong. anyone I try to read. Another beautifully written video, Gold Vision, poetic and philosophical as always, one of your best. And thank you for saying that, because I felt strangely vulnerable in this most recent creation, and so I'm glad that it wasn't a complete train wreck. That's that's how I'll start. I'm not the best at this game, but I'm getting better. And as you saw, my real aspiration isn't so much to get to knock it all out and be perfect, or only show perfection and filter out everything else, pretending like it doesn't exist, but rather to be a font of peaceful energy and positive vibes, just like trying to rush them out, trying to, whenever it arrives, get it going, get the ideas, get the feelings happening, get the positive experience on paper, onto screen, and out the door. Because everything's moving so fast now, And with the robots that are like chasing everything that's been put out there, I'd rather have my voice, amplified when I'm saying things that are of value. And so that's the aspiration, and getting better at doing that. So like I said, I'm not the best at this game, but I'm trying to get better. And this is the opening course called Tourist Trap. And it's just to get you started, I think. It's just to show you the process. There's an above view, as you can see. It covers all the different places you can go. But you don't have to jump up here. This is just a convenient way to see the scorecard, which isn't reflected traditionally, just on the game map. Another comment I have here is, and I'm just going from the top, by haste writing. I appreciate this reflective video on your philosophy. Helps me reflect on what I want in my games and in my world. Also, rest in peace, Mr. Immortal. And I'm glad you brought that particular instance up. I feel like I was a little aggressive toward Mr. Green Immortal, and I didn't really want it to be about that, but I did find it painfully ironic. As it was, I when I went back to go find the footage of it, it took me a while. I kept scrubbing through the experience, and I realized that the reason I couldn't find it in the middle somewhere was because it was right at the end, because as soon as it happened, I quit the game, and I was like, I can't. And just kind of, it really took out my whole day. And it was really disappointing for myself, because you could see him in the mini map. You could see him get you could see him get closer, but I was too focused on certain other things. I didn't have the chance to resolve it in a more peaceful way. I have been playing this game for maybe 2 weeks now. Not as the primary one. You might know I did a recent Call of Duty experience where I tried out the DMZ, and I think that it's pretty fun. Pretty fun to explore other game worlds, but I also think that this one is... I don't know what it is about this particular one. And maybe it's just because I really do like the color green, and I feel like there's a vivid one that I'm just surrounded by. I've become a much more experiential gamer recently, if that makes sense. That I'm more focused on finding moments to moments and positive experiences, like being in a great place for an extended period of time, rather than trying to tabulate objective measures of score or rule. Since those things seem to come eventually, but I'd rather spend my time somewhere beautiful if I can, and then try to find the merits of it. You can see I've underperformed in this last one, partially because I'm talking so much. I normally try to focus, but focusing while talking, I've already experienced this one, and I find it important that I want to share it with you. But trying to improve, like I said, and it's going to take a lot of effort from a lot of just tries over and over again, and improving the experience, and then getting that peaceful data out there. I think that all makes sense, right? It's got to. I'm going to keep saying it until it does. Another comment from Guava de Pengu. The minute this video ended, I said, "Whoa," out loud to no one but myself. That's the first time a video of any kind has ever made me do that, and I feel like I've watched a lot of good videos in my time, but nothing quite like this. I love that. And I love making things that get such a response. I really do try. Really do try. Not hard enough most of the time. But every time it does get a little better. Side note, and I forgot to write this in anywhere on the video, but I believe I created all the music for it. And I was recently chastised for not crediting the music artists in my video that I had written all the music for, and I just forget to do that. And I do it entirely. The only reason I write music is so that I can avoid copyright infringement. But I did that, and I forgot to mention it in my most recent video. I should also mention that on occasion, I might start idling and looking for what this game offers as lost golf balls. There's one in every hole, as you see. I've accumulated most of them, but not the one for this one. So if you don't mind for 1 second, I want to do a cursory exploration. There it is. Down there, you see it? Let's see if I can get down there. You can see it. It's through the floor. Well, don't worry. Came right to me. There's a question if I've played the Bonanza course. And yes, I have played that one. And yes, it is there's a bandit. It'll be hard to explain, especially if I'm not looking in the right direction. There's a bandit. This is an ethical question that I came to. It's a cutout, a wooden cutout of a bandit-looking character with a heart in the middle, and the symbolism of throwing the golf ball into, because ideally you do want to accurately hit him in the heart, so the ball will roll down toward the target. But I haven't, even though I think it should be okay. The idea of using this skill to accurately target a humanoid shape and then have the ball go to a vulnerable place, like a heart, an exposed heart, is something that I've been trying to play around. Like, play around a void. And I do that. So I take thankfully it's not the whole theme of the whole course. But it is one element that I do try to dodge, and thankfully it's just the one instance of that so far, where there's an image of a person that you're trying to hit a golf ball at. Pretty terrible at this one. What are we on, hole 4? I believe I always want to go, and the jury is still out. I haven't heard anything to the yay or nay whether or not you're allowed to kind of traverse the course before you hit the ball. But I think something like this you're allowed to kind of investigate. I just forget which way is the best. And I think, is it this left one or the right one? I think it's the left one. I think it's the leftmost one. There's several ways of locomotion. I'm using the smooth turning, and just push to walk. There's a teleport. In addition to the jump to ball teleport, there's the teleport fishing pole experience option. Perfect. Exactly where I wanted to go. We have another comment. Social down climber. We don't deserve you, but we are very glad to have you. You're really making the world a better place. And thank you. That was from social down climber, and I think that we all are. I think we're all making the world a better place. Any day that you spend being productive and creating value, creating productive violence, building, using your strengths, learning, all of that, I think, is kind of compiling into being just one big beast of joy. And we should all just aspire to keep adding to it, I think. This is all theoretical, too. I forgot to mention the things that I expressed in my latest video. I don't have evidence that if everybody tries to be contributing positive data to our system, then things will end up better. It's a theory that I think is sound and is consistent, but I don't have like a map or a diagram of evidence that's easily traceable. This is a tough hole. No, but we made it through. We're creeping along, just a little bit by little bit. They set you up real nice with a couple normal exciting holes right at the front. Feels like a real traditional miniature golf experience. And so far, I don't want to jinx it, but I haven't had to kill anybody in this arena. It's been relatively safe for competing with other people and just playing solo practice runs like this one. And slowly getting better. Thank you. You know, you're just trying to follow the middle path, stay on the road, walk forward, slide forward, be what you can be today, watch the horizon disappear behind you, and watch it come back. These are all options. Go for another one of these. Just want to get through them. I don't know if I said this already, but the reason I want to go through them is because they really do help encourage me to think better. And so I think thinking them out loud and responding to them will help me create better. I think that's a good aspiration, to constantly try to be better. But I don't. Once again, that's another theory. I'm a very theoretical person. I don't know if you've gathered that. Shiny Red Bullets commented, "Your videos are a constant source of comfort. Thank you." And I'm actually a little weary of that idea, not because it's not a nice thing to say. It's very thank you. That was very kind. But I did recently, like I said, play Call of Duty, and if you were watching that experience, it was very tumultuous, and I tried to play in a comforting way, but I also was in a lot of danger and conflict. I was experiencing a lot of just straight up regular aggression. It was unsafe. And so if I know that for a bit I was doing peaceful live streams, and I kept encountering games that caused a bunch of chaos and pain and loud noises and panic. And that wasn't really what I was aspiring to do. But that was kind of me learning and figuring out that there's got to be a path to those peaceful worlds through the ones that we already have. And a lot of danger that we're going to move past together as we keep working. There we are. We're finally starting to drop down a little bit. Hopefully we'll get somewhere. Pasta Luke said, incredibly clever jokes aside, you make some fantastic points about using clicks and interactions to trend the industry and the terrifyingly real future AI-generated industry toward peace and human connection. What an amazing video. I really am glad that that point was properly expressed. Excuse me while I line my view. This hole is very important to get to the back pipe. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to pull that off, but there's 2 drop-off points there. And I personally think that if you can do a shorter shot and then eventually get to that far pipe, you're better off than making it in this one on the first go. Fervent believer of that. But I think that the AI discussion is happening, and there's no answers and there's no authority, and I really I wish there were, and I wish that there was some ground that anyone could stand on, but really we're all just figuring it out right now in real time, what we're doing. Close is good. Close is what I'm searching for. There's so many talented and amazing artists out there that I think that reflecting on those messages of peace and the data that you can create with it will push algorithms toward those ideas. I think those ideas will just become functional. I think they'll become real. 3D printing, and it just the way that it's so. I don't know. Is everyone else following the artificial intelligence discourse as fervently as I am? Because I'm kind of. I can't stop thinking about it. I don't know. I am consistently thinking about it though, and I think that's really important. Also, and I need to completely apologize for what I'm wearing right now. This is what I thought would be a fun adventure cloak arrangement and protective in this somewhat dangerous environment. It's not what I normally wear on a day-to-day basis. Smith WN Animation said, the only winning move is not to play. Unfortunately, this is very common in games, and this is also one of the reasons I've been spending more time working on creative projects instead of playing. And I arrived at that only winning move is not to play. That classic War Games quote. Consistently and annoyingly. I think this is the biggest hindrance to my existence last year, maybe a couple more. Just not even wanting to load up a game and then have to risk the danger of accidentally attacking somebody. Because it's a common theme, and I think it's getting themier. And I really would like to be less concerned about that now. This is not a fantastic lineup, unfortunately. We're okay. We're okay. We're surviving. I think that it is more important to play games though than to just I don't know, just wish I could and get into them. And I think they are broadening in scope and becoming more accessible. And there's a lot of games that are actually coming out this year that I'm pretty excited about. And I don't even know how I'm going to have enough time to play everything because everything keeps just taking up more and more time. Everything's a new opportunity. And there's so many fun games on the horizon. There's a little shortcut board here. I don't know if you saw that. It was perfect. Almost. Almost perfect's pretty good, though. Sato said, the title of the video is such a thing to see in your sub box. Scrolling through during a double take and then going, oh yeah, Gold Vision, haha. And I'm glad that I have that effect now. There's a degree of me that thinks that I'm just a particularly fantastic troll. Because I don't know if you've noticed, but the Grand Theft Auto Pacifist series was supposed to be just a big parody joke on everything. But it ended up being a lot more thought and discussion than I was hoping for. Alright, cruising along. I think I have all the lost golf balls on this one. This hole is cool. It's got see that ramp going down and around. I always love ramps. Any game, really. but I'll do everything I can to avoid it. That's close. Very close. Just general compliment. Pete Finch said, "Your channel makes me wish I still cared about playing video games." Great as always. Thank you. It's tough. I actually went through a little bit of a phase of not sure what games I should care about recently. Not super recently, but, one of those deep mental dives of if I could play any game and I could grind in any world, which one is the most important? Which one should I care about? If they're changing, new one will come out every day. Getting lost in it. I do think that I am very happy for the opportunity to share my thoughts in this public forum. And so it gives me a little more of a justification for jumping into titles and exploring them and offering my perspective. But I think everybody has to go through it. I mean, maybe if you're very young and you just everything seems new and everything is new, then you'll learn so much just about the world with all the detail and all the art that went into making basically any new AAA title. But if you're an adult, you've already experienced so much, and you want those incremental, like those new experiences, but you're not going to get them if you're getting a redundant one or a remade one that you've already experienced in the past. And so many new titles are kind of geared toward getting the next wave of audience and who's excited about the best graphics and about the best immediate experience that they're going to have for the first time. So it's a constant debate of what the most valuable use of your time is. But I do think in the same breath that the game world is merging with the real world. And the ideas in AR games and elements like that are going to start being synonymous with our daily lives. I do that every time. I think I like doing that. I think in my soul I like when it comes back down and doesn't even go to the place where I need it to. Top 10 soulful activity, probably. There's a comment that it's possible GTA Pacifist inspired the movie Free Guy. I do think that there was some connection on some level. And I hope that if I did inspire anything, it was useful. But it's become more about the message and the opportunities and the discussion than it is about any particular project. I think the opportunity to in real time express ideas that reinforce the principles that make the world better is the best thing about it. I did like that movie though. I like to clap for myself. I actually took a speech class in college, and on the first day anybody had to give a presentation, after the first person went, I started clapping, and then there was like a moment where everybody thought, "Oh, do we clap now? Is this like the end of it?" And I just insisted the rest of the class. I would clap after everyone's speech, and we all would. And our professor said, "You're giving everybody a false sense of security or a false sense of success." But I really think that it helped me, and everybody clapped for me when I was done giving my terrible, boring speeches. And I recommend it if you have the opportunity to clap. Go for it. Wow, wait, okay. On the 12th hole. Um, Paradox said this is perfectly gold vision, which is thankfully what I was trying to make. You know, I don't want to be somebody else. Been gold vision for so long. Ballot Boxer. More games should offer pacifist alternatives like Deo Kojima's games do. And I don't disagree. Metal Gear Solid had that the without a trace option for the missions. You had to like use a score. I think there were still some troubles that I don't know that I encountered, but that was the joy of those games, is to like not be seen or even exist. I remember. This is back a while ago, obviously, but I caught up to a character and was ready to grab them, and they didn't. I wasn't supposed to be able to find them at the moment, so it just kind of froze the game, and it took me out of the whole experience. And then the multiplayer came out, and then it just kind of drifted away. I got distracted with other things. But I did really love, especially the night missions, and just seeing how far you could get without alerting anybody. That's the important path right there. There's a question that whether or not I need to be tipped in the stream chat to putt the ball, and I don't think that's necessary. That's a great idea. I wish I had thought of it. Maybe that's why I'm here, to collect great marketing ideas. But I'll continue putting for free of charge, no problem. I'm trying to show that once you come over here, right off the putting starting point, you want to come down, go straight down the middle. I'm going to walk it, even though it's just for golf balls. By walk it, I mean slide down as if I'm flying, maybe on these two things, and it'll go right down to the hole. If you take the other path, if you don't hit it in the middle, you're going to have a much longer go of it. Before I get into it again, Odd Boy E-Man said, the most interesting commentary from this is the vast community of popular culture is casually violent. Perhaps the irony is that people play violent games because that is what other people are playing. Sadly, in the pursuit of peace, you end up feeling excluded. And I agree. I agree with a lot of that. I don't know if I mentioned this earlier. One of the reasons why I don't often respond to YouTube comments is I feel like it's a gallery. I feel like YouTube is this place of art. Excuse me. YouTube is a place of art, and it would be like putting a display up at a museum, and then like everybody's doing, and then running in when somebody comes to criticize it and saying, "Oh no," you like getting in their way and saying, "Hey, no, that's not what I meant," or "I was trying to do this," or what. I don't. Once I've placed something up there, I think that it's free for everybody else to have the authority to say what's important, and then it's time for me to step back and just let the discourse happen. Because I feel like I've already done my part, and maybe this is just an old-fashioned way of thinking, and that's why I'm trying out something like this, to see if it's a valuable exercise to go through and reflect on that perspective. But I really respect the comments area, and I don't want to dip in there and try to control it or manipulate it. I think that maybe that's a strange perspective, but that's how I've always kind of felt about it. Let's see. Let's try to make something happen here. There's a question if I'm putting with a fishing pole, And I don't know what this putter's made out of. Oh, crap. That's a birdie. It's bumping us up. I don't think I'm going to get the high score on this one, but we're making some good progress. Just going through. If you're just joining, this is called Tourist Trap. It's the name of the course. You can see it in front of me. We kind of zoom out in giant mode, which, fun fact, if you're playing with other people, they can see you as a giant up here. It's not useful in any way, but it's kind of fun. And that's kind of a great thing for a video game to have. Or, in this case, a VR experience. Let's get back down there. And jump to the next one. Let's see, what do we have? You should play... Spaces and Shark said you should play Project Zomboid. It's a zombie apocalypse survival game where you can only kill zombies by intentionally attacking them, running them over with a vehicle, creating a fire that they walk over. The game has a lot of building, fishing, farming, etc. Lots to do without violence. And there's a multiplayer too. I've heard of Project Zomboid. And I'm actually torn on the binary of play a peaceful game where you don't have to create any images of violence or danger at all. And also being in a world where you get to experience the conflicts of reality in a hyper-real situation and a very aggressive and condensed pressure zone, and then try to find peaceful solutions out of it, which seems harder but more meaningful and more successful to survive a PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds round, get to the end, get a chicken dinner without hurting anybody, or Fortnite to the end, versus something that you might build a farm and not have to worry too much about it being attacked or surviving to the end of the round. I'm torn, and Zomboid obviously would fall in the second form of game, but it's also fun to do, so maybe I'll have to check it out and see how far I can get. I think that's that the threshold of violence, something I've mentioned, where there's normally just a door or like a line or some kind of rule that says you just can't advance until you take somebody out, almost in a tutorial way, a rite of passage where you earn the right to continue into the game by killing somebody. It's not my favorite methodology. Yikes. That's out of control. Really let it go. I was really getting heated up there. I don't know if you got that. Oh, how close are we? Not close. How far? Oh. It's kind of a real far situation. I'll never get this name. Jan Verney said, I like to do pacifist no-kill runs in games that allow it. Gold Vision sure helped me to realize there are too many games make conflict and violence seem like the only solution. Yeah. But I don't see things changing from that. We as humans are just violent, that's it. If I really had the option to pick between non-violent automated luxury future and spending my life in Valhalla, I'd probably pick the peaceful one and then spend an eternity regretting it. Conflict makes life interesting. And there's lots to digest there, but I will start with the idea that conflict isn't necessarily violence. There's a conflict right here between me, gravity, this ball, and this hole. I guess to a degree that's a violence. I'm, in theory, degrading the ball to a certain extent, although it looks like I haven't. Really, it seems a little impervious. Continuing on. this journey. But I do think that there's a balance there. And I think one of the bigger points I was trying to elevate was that these games they're in development. There's so many games now that are just in open beta, and they're listening and they want to know what you want, and you can say whatever you want. And obviously, sales will probably be more of a reflection of what gets continued rather than just people asking for things. But you have the power to pick which games you want to play and to suggest the changes you want to see. And a lot of these experiences, it's the squeaky wheels. Maybe that's what I'm trying to do, is just make a big squeaky wheel. It's like a chain, like a squeak train. Like the whole train squeaks till it gets oiled down like a path that leads us to a luxury, peaceful, everyone is having a good time future. I don't know. Some 1-inch hat said, I would like to live in a world with more cute anime girls, so I'll play some games to help manifest that. Thank you, Gold Vision. And please report back to your success of seeking what you're trying to find. I think there's a lot of opportunities for us to explore ideas that interest us without taking the same real-life risks, especially involving something like that. PRDC said, my voice does not need to be a loud one. It just needs to exist. And I forgot, that's what I said. That's what... I thought about that for a while. I wasn't sure if it was the words exactly that I wanted to say, but it actually does echo a lot of the sentiments that I think that if the truth is spoken, if the right things are said... We're on hole 15 of 18, by the way, in case you're worried. If that is how it works, which is how I think it works, how I want it to, and how it seems to, if just the truth exists and we all have the opportunity to speak it, then we should just be seeking it and trying to bring it into the world. All theoretical once again. I'm just like endlessly aspirational. I don't know what happened to me to make me like this. That's the worst I've ever done. I'm going to lose all the progress I made. But I do think if you, at least in this world, if you make a small mistake like that, it's better to make a small fix to it than trying to try to progress as hard as you can in spite of that mistake. Because the physics of this world are they're quite unforgiving. There's not even a little dip around. Maybe a normal mini golf course would have like a little, the edges are a little rough, so if you get it close enough, it'll fall in, or like many people have been playing, so around the hole, it casually dips in. It doesn't. The ball will stop on the edge. And you will wish that it was a little more reflective of actual reality in that case. There's a comment that I think it's Taylor Ward. I think the data argument from the video is really valid, but not something I'd considered. AAA game developers absolutely have data on every action you are doing in the game. And thank you for, where'd you go? Where'd you go? I think that is very true, and I think it's getting truer. And the way that it's been a thing for a long time that you can save a whole game state and every way that the camera is looking for every player, and just save that. I think it's I think in Team Fortress for since it was Team Fortress 1.98, and now I can't imagine that all input and all data is just stored in a text file somewhere. If the developers want that to be that way, so that way that data can be used to improve the experience and streamline maps and optimize things. And if that's the way things go, then we're all constantly creating data for everyone. Everything we're doing, everything in here. I think this game claims to be independent game. So I don't know if it is too much of a concern to be like fully data mined while I'm trying to put my day away. But it's still and not in a dystopian way. If we all know that we're giving all this data away, why don't we just pick the data that we want more of? It feels like a very linear statement. I think that it's just the idea is kind of frightening to people to think that perhaps they're being tracked by marketers, and it's just hard to process. And so a lot of people aren't ready for it. But I think once you get there and you realize that, yes, that's the business practice that everybody's kind of been using for a long time, well, why don't we just, like, you open up whatever app you're using and just use it to get what you want. Don't let it just give you what it wants. Search for what you want and then search for more of it, and don't put up with it, because they just want you to keep using that app. They want you to keep watching that show. They want you to do whatever you want, and so then they can make more of it. I don't know. Maybe I'm just talking too much and thinking too much, and I need to get back to putting. Maybe this is the easiest hole in the entire course. And I'm getting too excited. Maybe the data being tracked will trace back, and this hole will get easier for people like me. Before I said that anchor that I hit the ball into was my worst performance ever, but this has now become my worst performance ever. This is like a par 1. I told you. Look at this. Look how close we are. This whole thing, you can't even see it. Can you even see this? Don't look. Don't look. I gotta clap for myself. Double bogey. Back down. That's okay though. This is if anything, a cautionary tale of getting too heated and excited about the future when you gotta be focusing on the golf ball right in front of you. This one's a real hit or miss, in my opinion. I don't know what's gonna happen. I always feel like my performance on the last one is reflective of how I'm going to do on the next one. There's a comment from someone, Sorry Bones, how I made it through 2023 by killing everyone, which I think that's a funny little twist. I haven't considered it as my personal MO, but I do think that there's some comedy there, and I don't know the particular value for it. It definitely would be a little antithetical, and maybe a more aggressive way to prove the theory. This one's rough because you could just fall right off this path. This green guy. There's nothing to protect you. I guess there's the couple bars, but in general, it's not safe. Excuse me. It's okay. I think this one's still a par. I think. Yeah, we're okay. Jumping out. Now we're on the last hole. So let me get through a couple more of these. I thought I would make it through more of them, but I've been so focused on progressing and talking about my wild ideas. This is a pretty fun 18th hole. I have one from Rito Kilos. Wait, is this what this channel is about? I've been watching for quite a while and just didn't realize that. Just enjoying everything posted. And posting is a fun way to express it. It's just kind of like a forum. Something I was trying to say. And hi Walshy. Hope you're having a great 2023 as well. I think of this just as a big opportunity to share a bunch of ideas as hard as you can. It's a community. People use the internet. Internet's one of my favorite places to go, honestly. There's a shortcut on this one. It's a really long hole. Here, I'll warp to the... Look, it's like a little elaborate doodad. You can pop it off the back from where we just were and then hope that it bounces true, but this moment in time I'm playing the confident shots. I'm trying to do what's right instead of taking the biggest risks I can. Let's see. JV said, heck yeah, this is sweet. I appreciate that. It's just a general positive comment that lets me know I'm on the right path. KNG fan, I managed to win some Battle Royale games without killing. I believe it. I think it's possible. It's definitely my aspiration. It's not easy. And that's one big near the end thought is that I'm not asking for an easy out. You know? Like, this isn't about I don't want games to be easy just because that way, whatever. No, it's this should be a rewardingly difficult task to find that peaceful direction. How many times have I said peace today? It's an absolute joyful feat to make it to the end with all your friends without having to do anything that you didn't want to do, hurt anybody, or create any conflict. Change the world in any direction except the one you want to go. It's an absolute joy. And I want to work towards that as often as possible. So I do want to thank everybody for all their wonderful, kind comments. Reiterate that often I don't respond because I think it's your opportunity to express what is important to you, and I don't want to interfere. But I am thankful when I do read them for the input, as long as it's not too disastrous. There was once a comment that somebody said, "You sound like you suck at cooking," and for a while I was taken aback and upset, and I was like, "That I don't even know how I could express that with my voice." And then I realized they were talking about a different creator, and whose handle was that. And so from then on, I've kind of wanted to take a step back anyway and just let the discussion happen and reiterate that I appreciate the comments and they help guide, but they don't direct my behaviors. And I'm very thankful for the opportunity to share that opinion today in this kind of unique way. I don't know, is this a normal thing to do? Is any of this normal? I don't think it matters. Like I said, I'm more comfortable just showing up here, sharing some peaceful data, reflecting, growing, getting a little bit better. -7. I haven't done a -7 during a live broadcast before, so that's a big achievement for me, and I'm very thankful I had the chance to do it. There's a question if this game has multiplayer. It does. It's very easy. It's also cross-platform, so depending on which setup you have, it's more of a create a private room and join in. I believe there's tournaments. I believe there's a lot of multiplayer options, and there are DLC maps that I've been exploring. If you have a friend who doesn't have that map, they can still play with you, but they can't find the lost golf balls, which as you unlock them, you can use them. And the clubs, eventually you can find, after you unlock the hard version of the course, then you can find special golf clubs. I haven't found any yet because I'm not good enough. But when then you can find those as well, but you can't do it unless you have yourself unlocked those things. So you can play the courses, but you can't accumulate the special elements from the courses with your friends. So so far it seems like a very open world, and I've been spending a lot of time in it, and I really enjoy it, as I have a lot of games, and I'm going to keep searching for great VR experiences, but I do recommend this one so far from what I've played, and I'm thankful for the opportunity to share my thoughts about it, share it with you. Head back to the main menu. Let's just see got a new golf ball there. Probably won't use that one. It's got a green stripe. I'm more of a gold ball user, That's what I've been looking for. But thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for commenting. I'm working on my next project, like always, and I'll talk to you soon.